We're back for another segment of All in a Week Sports, and we're going to take a look at a couple matchups for Week 2 of the high school football season while looking back on their first games of the year. First, I know, Scott, you were at the Jamestown game. It was a tough loss. They're going to go up to Lancaster this week looking for the win. And what happened last week, and do you think it's a pretty easy fix?
Well, Jamestown played pretty well for the most part. The problem was that they had self-inflicted wounds when they got in the red zone. A couple turnovers and a failure to convert, especially on a two-point conversion try in the final 2 minutes, prevented them from taking the lead. So they need to clean that up. But they're a relatively young team, and for a first game against a veteran Williamsville North team, which had really, really talented players at the skill positions, I thought Jamestown didn't do a bad job for their first game of the season. They do have a tough road here this week against Lancaster. Lancaster last year beat Jamestown at Strider, and their running back, who is back this year, scored 6 touchdowns in that game. So they're going to have their work cut out for them on the road. But I asked Tom Langworthy after the game last Friday his thoughts about how he felt. Was the glass half empty or half full as he was leaving the field, and he said it's half full. So he saw a lot of encouraging signs. They just need to clean up how they finish drives, and should be a good game. Lancaster is back to the standard at which they've been back 20 years or so ago, and they've got a really veteran team. So it'll be a good matchup. It'll be a tough game, I think, for Jamestown, but they certainly proved that they could play with Williamsville North, and there's a lot of similarities there between North and Lancaster.
As far as Week 2 matchups go, one of the bigger ones, it could be a playoff matchup. We got 1-0 teams in Class D. Frewsburg going to Maple Grove. By Post-Journal count, Kurt Fisher's going for his 200th career win, and I think we're getting into teams that Terry Gray at Frewsburg's been looking forward to with his son growing up, running the team as a junior, and a couple of big senior receivers on the outside. Cody, what did you see in this game this week?
Well, one of the things I'm interested in seeing is Frewsburg's offense against the stout Maple Grove defense. As you said, Frewsburg has some really talented wide receivers in Cordell O'Brien and Caleb Caldwell, and a good quarterback as well in Trent Gray. And Maple Grove's defense, they have Trevor Meisick, a returning All-State player from last year, Brad Benson, another All-State returning player from last year as well. So that's going to be a big matchup, I think, for me. And again, as you said, it's going to be Kurt Fisher's 200th career win according to the Post-Journal record. So Dutch Hollow Road's going to be hopping this Friday night. I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Also in Class D, a couple teams that looking to turn it around. You can't fall too far behind early, and Randolph and Portville are going to match up. A couple 0-1 teams that whoever loses there is going to be 2 games back of the Frewsburg Maple Grove winner. We got a couple other games. Cat Little Valley is going to travel to Franklinville to take on the Titans. Cat Little Valley lost to Frewsburg last week. They don't want to go 0-2. And then on Saturday, Clymer Sherman Panama is going to host Silver Creek Forestville. What do you see there with those 2 teams, guys?
Well, with Silver Creek Forestville, they really caught my eye last week with that complete performance against Randolph. That's a team that moved down to Class D prior to the season, and they got things started on the right foot. They showed they definitely belong in this league, and they could be a team to be reckoned with.
And that leading the way for Silver Creek Forestville is a young man out of the backfield, Billy Siders. He had 175 yards and 2 touchdowns, and his effort was good enough to gain some recognition as a Connolly Cup nominee, which at the end of the season, the Connolly Cup is awarded to the outstanding player in Western New York, and to be nominated is quite an honor. And Billy got off to a really good start this week or last week, and probably a guy that's destined for a really strong season.
Also Saturday, Fredonia Westfield Brockton is going to travel to Cassadaga Valley to take on the Golden Cougars. We got Cassadaga Valley Falconer won last week 3-0. None of us really saw that game, so it could be really good defensive performances, or it could be things to work on offensively for both those teams. Fredonia Westfield Brockton had a tough opener. You don't know what after 1 week, you don't really know where they're going. That was such a hard game week 1 that they could be a really good team just with a tough opponent week 1.
Well, Springville is an outstanding team. To give you an idea of how good they are, and the reason why they probably had such a easy time against Fredonia Westfield Brockton is because Springville is loaded with seniors, and they are so good that their coach wanted to play a double-A team this year. And so Tom Langworthy of Jamestown agreed to play them. Now, it's unusual for a school the size of Springville to want to play a double-A, but that's how strong they are. So, I tip my hat to Tom for allowing that to happen, and so I look for a good game. So that score is probably pretty close to the 52-14 victory for Springville. Not necessarily a surprise given the personnel they have.
So get out this weekend. Couple of home games Friday night for area teams, and then unlike last weekend, we got a couple Saturday games that you can also take in.